NFL billionaires are sweating in their $1,000 suits. And it's all because one rookie quarterback just told them no 3 times. Cam Newton just dropped a bombshell that has the league's puppet master scrambling. Shadur Sanders, the same kid torching defenses for over 10,000 yards, looked 3 franchise owners dead in the eye on draft night and said, "Thanks, but I'll pass." When was the last time a rookie had that kind of nerve? See, the NFL draft used to be a one-way street. Rookies would cry tears of joy, hug grandma, thank God for being picked by any franchise willing to throw them a jersey. But Shadur Sanders? He ripped up that script, swiped left on billionaires like they were bad Tinder dates, and walked straight into the storm everyone else was running from. This isn't just a draft story. This is a power shift. And the old guard, they're terrified. But here's where it gets dangerous. Shadur didn't just reject teams quietly, he rejected them strategically. Baltimore Ravens? Hard pass. Philadelphia Eagles? Delete. And according to Cam Newton, there was a third team in the mix that got the same ice-cold treatment. But why would any sane rookie turn down guaranteed millions, primetime exposure, and a fast track to the playoffs? Because Shadur Sanders learned something most rookies never figure out until it's too late. Situation matters more than salary. The Ravens wanted him to sit behind Lamar Jackson, basically asking him to be the world's most expensive clipboard holder. The Eagles? They've got Jalen Hurts locked in on a $255 million contract. That's not a depth chart. That's a fortress. Shedeur wasn't interested in being anyone's backup plan. He wasn't interested in wearing a headset on the sidelines while someone else wrote the headlines. So he did what no rookie is supposed to do. He said no. And the NFL media, they couldn't handle it. Analysts started clutching their pearls, calling Shedeur arrogant, entitled, delusional. Former players like Alex Smith jumped on air and essentially said, "Back in my day, we took what we were given and smiled through the misery." Translation: I suffered, so you should too. Misery loves company after all. But Cam Newton saw it differently. He didn't call Shedeur arrogant. He called him smart, because Newton's been in this league long enough to know what happens when a rookie ends up in the wrong situation. Talent gets buried, potential gets wasted, careers get derailed before they even start. And Shedeur, he wasn't about to let that happen. Baltimore was just the beginning. The Ravens are a playoff machine, one of the most stable franchises in the league. They've got a Super Bowl pedigree, a defensive identity, and Lamar Jackson running the offense like a human cheat code. On paper, Baltimore looks like paradise for a young quarterback trying to learn from the best. But here's the problem. When you're standing behind greatness, you're invisible. Lamar isn't going anywhere. He just signed a 5-year, $260 million extension. That's enough money to buy a private island, and enough job security to make any backup irrelevant for half a decade. Baltimore thought they were handing Shedeur the golden ticket. Shedeur saw prison bars. So when the Ravens came calling, Shedeur didn't hesitate. "Thanks, but I'm not Lamar's stunt double." 1 franchise down, 2 to go. Picture this: Shadur Sanders, draft night, sitting in his living room with his phone buzzing nonstop, text after text, call after call. Franchise reps speed dating him like he's the last bottle of water in the desert. Baltimore: "We'll develop you. You'll learn from Lamar." Shedeur: "Swipe left." Philadelphia: "Championship culture, elite offensive line." Shedeur: "Delete." Most rookies would have said yes to the first offer, but Shedeur wasn't raised like most rookies. He grew up watching his father, Deion Sanders, build a Hall of Fame career on one principle: never settle. Never let anyone else write your story. Control your destiny, or someone else will control it for you. And on draft night, Shedeur put that lesson into action. And then came Philadelphia, another trap disguised as opportunity. The Eagles have everything a young quarterback could dream of. A top 5 offensive line, elite weapons like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and a fan base that bleeds green. But they also have Jalen Hurts, a franchise quarterback locked in on a 9-figure deal and coming off a Super Bowl appearance. Philadelphia wasn't offering Shedeur a starting job. They were offering him a costume. Show up, hold a clipboard, nod during film sessions, maybe get some garbage time reps if the Eagles are up by 30 in Week 17. Philly's offer, Shedeur treated it like spam. Delete. Because here's what the media didn't understand. Shedeur wasn't just rejecting teams. He was rejecting the script. The script that says rookies should be grateful for scraps. The script that says you take what you're given and shut up. The script that turns first round, picks into professional practice squad players. Shedeur burned that script. And the NFL's power brokers? They felt the heat. Now let's talk about Cleveland. The chaos Shedeur actually chose. The Browns are a dumpster fire wrapped in orange and brown. They haven't had a franchise quarterback since Bernie Kosar in the 80s. Their recent history reads like a horror movie. Johnny Manziel, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson's legal nightmare. This is the franchise Shedeur wanted? Here's the twist. Cleveland is chaos, but it's open chaos. There's no Lamar Jackson fortress. No Jalen Hurts 9-figure roadblock. Just a starting job sitting there, waiting for someone brave or crazy enough to take it. Shedeur looked at Cleveland and saw what everyone else missed. Opportunity disguised as disaster. Sure, the Browns are a mess, but they're his mess. He gets to walk in day one, take the keys, and rewrite the narrative from the ground up. Everything we thought we knew about draft leverage? Wrong. Dead wrong. Because what Shedeur just proved is that the leash doesn't belong to the billionaires anymore. It belongs to the player who dares to yank it first. For decades, NFL owners held all the cards. They decided who got drafted where, who sat on the bench, who got their shot. Rookies were supposed to shut up, suit up, and be grateful for the privilege. But Shedeur flipped the table. He didn't ask permission. He didn't wait for approval. He made the decision himself. And just like that, the power dynamic shifted. But this isn't just about one draft pick. Shadur Sanders just became patient zero for a revolution that terrifies every front office in the league. Because if one rookie can reject 3 franchises and still land exactly where he wants, what's stopping the next one? Or the 10 after that? Owners are sweating because they know what's coming. They've spent decades conditioning rookies to be grateful, compliant, obedient. But Shedeur just handed every future first-rounder a blueprint. You don't have to take their deal. You can write your own. That's not just a draft strategy. That's a cultural earthquake. Cleveland isn't safe. It's a minefield. But it's his minefield. And here's what terrifies the old guard. Shedeur didn't just choose Cleveland for the starting job. He chose it because he watched his father do the exact same thing at Colorado. Deion Sanders walked into a program that was broken, buried, forgotten, and turned it into appointment television. He didn't inherit a dynasty. He built one. Shedeur's betting he can do the same thing in Cleveland. Walk into the wreckage, rebuild from the ashes, and become a legend in the process. It's high risk, high reward, and completely terrifying for anyone playing it safe. But Shedeur wasn't raised to play it safe. Alex Smith, former NFL quarterback, went on national television and basically said Shedeur should have taken whatever he was offered and smiled through it. Smith spent years as a backup, years getting bounced from team to team, years watching other guys get the glory. And now, he wants the new generation to follow the same miserable script. Misery loves company, after all. But Shedeur isn't interested in joining that club. He's interested in rewriting the rules entirely. Picture this. Shedeur walks into Cleveland training camp. Every veteran in that locker room knows his story. They know he rejected Baltimore. They know he rejected Philly. They know he chose Cleveland when he could have played it safe. What kind of message does that send? It says, I'm not here to collect a paycheck. I'm here to win. And if you're not ready to go to war, get out of my way. That's not arrogance. That's leadership. And Cleveland, they haven't had that kind of energy in decades. And when the dam breaks, the whole league better brace for the flood. Because Shedeur isn't the last rookie who's going to do this. He's the first. And once the floodgates open, once every first rounder realizes they have leverage, they have options, they have power, the entire draft system is going to look different. Owners will have to negotiate. They'll have to sell their franchises like job interviews instead of handing down royal decrees. They'll have to prove they're worth playing for. And that shift, that's the nightmare scenario for every billionaire in a luxury suite. So here's the real question. Did Shadur Sanders just change the game forever? Or did he light a fuse on his own career? Because Cleveland is brutal. If he fails, the narrative will be vicious. Should have taken Baltimore. Should have learned from Lamar. Arrogance got him buried. But if he succeeds, if he turns the Browns into a playoff contender, drags them out of the basement, and proves that betting on yourself is the smartest move a rookie can make, then every rookie after him will follow the blueprint, and the NFL will never be the same. Deion Sanders didn't just teach Shadur how to throw a football, he taught him how to think. From Pee Wee leagues to college stardom, the lesson was always the same. Never bow, never settle, never let anyone else decide your worth. When Shadur rejected those 3 teams, He wasn't being reckless. He was being his father's son. And that mentality, it's about to reshape an entire generation of athletes. Cam Newton called it a bombshell. The media called it arrogance. But history is going to call it something else entirely. The moment rookies stopped asking for permission and started taking control. Shadur Sanders didn't just reject 3 NFL teams. He rejected the entire system that said he should be grateful for scraps. He looked at the billionaires, the talking heads, the experts, and said, "I'll write my own story, thanks." Cleveland might be chaos, but chaos is where legends are born. So will Shedeur go down as the visionary who rewrote draft history? Or the cautionary tale parents used to teach humility? Only time will tell. Subscribe so you don't miss the next shocking chapter.